During the summers, I teach in Rome, but this is winter time, and it is the Capitoline Museum in Rome. In the middle is the equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius. That is a copy. The original is inside to preserve it. Now to the left, in the upper galleries, is an area that is very dusty, and it's full of old heads, as far as I'm concerned. And so one evening, just about this time, in winter, it was getting dark, and I went into the museum to go into this dusty area and just mosey around. And what I found was that they had not yet put the electric light on, and what we had was heads against the light. And looking more closely at them, I found that they were Roman heads. And everybody was there. All the guys, the good and the bad, Julius Caesar, Pompey, Hadrian, they were all there. And some of them I drew from observation and some from memory at a later point in my studio. And it got me thinking about contemporary heroes, because these were all statues, or rather heads of heroes. And I was thinking in terms of heroes, what is it like to be around a hero? And who are more contemporary heroes? And would it be like being strapped to a bomb to be close to a hero? So I began to think about contemporary heroes. Clint Eastwood. And the heads that I'm going to show you are very small. They're 14-inch by 16-inch, about so big. I watched his movies again. He's a hero. He's an anti-hero. Marcello Mastroianni in Fellini's La Dolce Vita. And if you recall, there's a classic movie, you will have seen it. If you recall, he leaps into the Trevi Fountain, fully dressed in his Armani suit. He's looking extremely elegant, and he jumps in to rescue a woman who's making a little bit of a spectacle of herself, Anita Ekberg. And she's falling out of her dress, and if you remember, she's a very curvy lady. And so he's going in there, and he's going to take his jacket off and be a gentleman and get her out, and so on and so on. So heroes are not role model citizens, and they don't always think things through. James Dean. So thinking of referencing the movies, and movies which I love, classic movies, and we've all seen Rebel Without a Cause, how many times? So I watched it again to make this head of James Dean. A hero who perhaps reminds us of the dangerous experiments of youth. He, if you recall, he had very fast cars, and it was inevitable that at some point he would kill himself in a fast car. This is the Emperor Caligula. So this is one of the drawings that I actually made in the Capitoline Museum. The media that I'm using is a very oily substance called XL. It's like a charcoal, but it comes in different colors. So you can actually mix your blacks. And it's, as I say, it's oily. And I also soak it in olive oil overnight before I use it, so it absorbs some of that as well. It has a feeling of being a painting, but in fact it's a drawing material. So this is Caligula, and the poet, the English poet Milton, refers to the knight as sullen. And I think when I was working on this was coming across quite strongly, looking at this head against the light, contre jour, as the French say. It was sullen, a sullen head. He's not a clean-cut hero. If he had been around, say, at the time of the Wild West, he probably would have become a legend, because he proposed that his horse should be made a senator. Achilles. The hero of the Battle of Troy. Well, he's an archetype hero, isn't he? He's missing, like all these heroes seems to me, having drawn them, painted them over the last 2 years. They're missing something called self-protection. They don't seem to be aware that they're very close to dying or being killed or something terrible is going to happen to them. Self-preservation doesn't exist for them. It's gone. So, at the point where I'm almost finished making this series of heads, contemporary heroes, anti-heroes, Roman heroes, and so on, I stumbled into, and quite literally stumbled into, a courtyard in Rome. And I see that the same guys are in this courtyard. And, they're all there again. Julius Caesar and Mark Antony's here this time, and so on. They're all there, and their names are at the foot of their statues. They're sort of very, very old. They're Roman, and they're not copies. And they're in a part of Rome that I just would never have imagined this courtyard would exist. No tourists, no nothing. So I'm not going to tell you where it is. And the thing is, going into this courtyard, I photographed it the next day in sunlight, but that night that I was there, it was pelting with rain, and in Rome when it rains, it doesn't just rain, it's like sheets of water, and the water was bouncing off these guys, and it was spraying into the courtyard, and I noticed that it was sometimes coming out of their mouth, literally their ears, whatever, and as you go around Rome, there are fountains playing everywhere, and many of them are spouting fountains. So you'll get a lion with a shower coming out of its mouth, and you'll get the breasts of a goddess spouting water, and so on and so on. So this is commonplace, but one night I did see in Rome, around about this time, I saw a guy taking a shower in a fountain. And, he wasn't quite singing along, and he didn't have any soap, but, he was completely naked, and he was having a great time. So I was still thinking about this as I was in this courtyard. So, thinking of this spray coming off, I wondered if I combined two things that you wouldn't expect to see together. What if I took a woman taking a shower? Now, I spent most of my working life in America, and America has refined the shower. The best showers in the world are to be had in America. Yeah. We know that. So they love their showers. And I thought, okay, what if I combine my experience of showers in general and watching people taking showers, changing rooms and so on, and what if I use a female in a shower next to a hero who is spouting water? Well, there's something faintly absurd about that. On the other hand, maybe not. So what if I try that? So putting things together that you wouldn't expect to see together. And this is what I came up with. So you can see the size, it's about 7 foot tall. Julius Caesar's on the left. The woman taking a shower is taking a shower from the guy on the right, who is, I've got to look back in my notes to find out who, that was Hadrian over there, yeah, that's Hadrian. And I'm using space rather differently than I had done in previous paintings. I'm using the space, I'm essentially not doing too much with what I'm doing. So I'm leaving a lot of blanks, and I'm hoping that I have enough to hold the attention, to hold my attention to begin with, but to hold anybody's attention. Can I do that? Can I deal with space in that sort of rather casual, vacuous way? So this is Lord Byron. And this is the first of the big paintings, and they are about 5 foot by 5 foot. And I still think, as I said, I spent most of my working life in America, so I still think in terms of inches and feet. They never went metric. So I have to really think very hard if I'm going to translate into centimetres, and being lazy, I don't do it. So here's Byron, and the thing about him is he died of a very exciting life, didn't he? James Dean, another exciting life. But he also lived life beyond the normal range of experience. High theatre, drama, everything he did, you know. The photographers following him, fast cars, live fast, die young. This is a Hollywood car wash. In Hollywood, they have car washes that you can sit in, and the showers come down, you know, from everywhere. And you get soaked, but the climate is so warm that when you drive out the other end, you're clean as well. Heroes. All of these are titled Showers with Heroes. And this one is Showers with Heroes, Achilles. The shower as a concept was refined by America, so I have referenced antiquity and America. And water is the link, but water is also the passage from life into death. And Achilles, if anything, is the hero that I am personally attached to. My grandfather read me passages from Homer when I was very, very small. And the person I remember from all that was Achilles, because he sulked. He sulked on the beach at Troy for a very, very long time before he took up arms and absolutely went and decimated Hector. So he was moody, sulky. And as a child, I understood that perfectly. Perhaps I was even being accused of being the same as you always accuse a child. You don't sulk, yes? So here he is, and he has his talking horse with him, Xanthus, who possibly was more intelligent than he was because he ran straight into his death. This is the thing about heroes, is that they don't always think through what the consequences of their actions may be. The last painting I'm showing you here, this is a woman taking a shower with no heroes. So she is the model that I used for the paintings. I just flipped her over and turned her on the other side. Now, I want to go back here again. There we are. While I was making this painting, it's the last of the paintings, and they're going to New York, and they're going to be seen November 15th is the opening. So while I was making this painting, the last of the paintings, I was listening to classical music, which I do usually, as white noise, not because I'm particularly interested in classical music. I'm not terribly interested, but it's white noise, so I use it when I'm painting. But for some reason, it went off the station, and on came a pop song, and it somehow summed up everything that I was doing. Thank you very much.